Aita for taking my newborn son and going to my mom's house because my husband his mom didn't save me any food for dinner. IF 32 gave birth to my son 5 weeks ago. My husband's mom has been camping in the living room ever since and inviting people over, making a mess in the house, etc. I said nothing because if I open my mouth, my husband would start scolding me saying his mom is there to help and I should be grateful. What I did was ignore her and focus on my son. I handle feeding, diaper change, cleaning, wiping. I only get a few hours sleep, so my husband's mom isn't really helping with the baby. But I thought to myself, well, at least she cooks for us. Last night, I was in the bedroom breastfeeding my son. I knew I was late for dinner, but I thought that my husband and his mom saved a plate for me. Once I got done with my son, I walked out the room and saw my husband and his mom sitting watching TV. I asked about dinner and my husband said it was probably on the stove. As I was walking towards the kitchen, his mom loudly said that she didn't save me any food. I was absolutely shocked. I asked her why, and she simply said, well, we didn't see you at dinner table, so I thought you weren't hungry. I lost it and yelled that I was feeding my son. Of course I was hungry, I was actually starving. She shrugged her shoulders and said it wasn't her fault I didn't show up for dinner, but she knew damn well that I was with my son and hadn't eaten a thing in hours. My husband asked me to not raise my voice at his mom, but I told him that he saw what happened and didn't think about me being hungry and needing food. He lashed out asking what the fuck I wanted him to do and I said, I don't know, maybe save some food for me? She defended him saying it was selfish of me to basically berate him for eating his dinner after working for long hours at the department. An argument ensued, and I went inside the bedroom, packed a small bag for me and my son, called my brother to come take me to mom's house, and my husband blew up at me as I was making my way out. We argued at the door and he told me that what I was doing was uncalled for and childish. I told him I couldn't take his mom anymore. He said I should be ashamed of myself for talking about her like that after she literally put her life on pause so she could help me out. My brother came and I got into the car and left. He picked some food for me on the way and I ate like a hungry bear. My husband never stopped calling though. In his last text he called me nuts and demanded I return today, but I said that I miss my mom, that I like it here in her clean home with her healthy food, and would like to stay for a while. He's lost it and got his family involved accusing me of keeping his son away from him and punishing him over food. Edit. Okay, to those who are saying that I'm keeping my husband away from his son, I promise you that he has full access to him, but chooses not to come over simply because he hates my mom and refuses to be with her in the same room. How long am I going to stay here? There's no telling, but at least I'm being pampered and treated like a princess by my mom, dad, brothers. Heck, I couldn't get this treatment in my own home. As for my husband, he can come over to mom's house if he wants to see his son so badly, but I doubt he'll do it since he's a very prideful person and this might hurt his ego. One more question to answer cause a lot of people ask me to clarify. Yes, department equals police department. He's a police officer. I'm sorry if you got confused, but I thought it was clear. Edit. Okay, I felt sorry for him and decided to send him a couple of pictures that I took of our son sleeping, and what was his response? A long wall of text berating me left and right and claiming that I was rubbing it in his face, that he can't come see his son because of you know what. He called me the B word, which he never did till now, and I'm shaken and so mad right now because I really thought I was doing something nice and considerate after having sympathy for him. I've decided to get the rest of my stuff tomorrow because I need more time and space to be able to think about what he's done and said. I feel terrible right now, but at least I got dinner for tonight, unlike when I was at my own home when his mom first came. Breastfeeding while on an empty stomach. That's like going into debt. There should have been heaping mounds of food waiting for you. I'm sure they know. Especially his mom. They didn't save any food for me, and I was hungry and too tired to make anything for myself, but I was hurt more than anything else. The bottom line is that it shouldn't matter what time you decide to eat. There should be food in the house for you. So basically his mother came to take care of him and show off her new grandchild under the pretense of helping you. Your mill is ignoring you and your husband is using her as an excuse to skip out of doing his part of parenting. Were there no warning signs earlier in the relationship? Kick her out, tell him he needs to start pitching in her file for divorce. NTA. NTA. How exactly is your mill's cooking helping if she doesn't even cook enough for all three of you? You know she probably didn't even cook enough food for you to eat to begin with because there was no food left when they finished eating. Stay where people are taking care of you. I wouldn't trust either of them with your son though. Aita for refusing to babysit my niece and leaving her with a stranger instead. I, F24, am an aunt to my 1-year-old niece Ava. My sister and Bill live close to me, so I babysit for them sometimes. They don't pay me, but I'm happy to do it anyway. On Friday was their anniversary, and they asked me 3 weeks in advance if I could babysit. I provisionally agreed because I had nothing else planned. My plans changed, however, when some of my old college friends told me they were stopping by my town on Friday. I haven't seen them in nearly 3 years and really wanted to see them. I gave my sister 5 days notice that I could no longer babysit on Friday and that she should make other arrangements. She didn't respond to the text, but she read it, so I assumed it was okay. On Friday, however, sister stopped by my house with Ava. I was confused and asked why she was here. She told me she was leaving Ava with me as originally planned. I said again I was busy. She replied that family is more important than my silly college friends and I should step up to my responsibility as an aunt. Before I could protest, she bolted back to the car where Bill was and they drove off, leaving Ava with me. I tried to call her after she left, but she had her phone off and none of my calls went through. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave Ava alone, but I also didn't want to cancel my plans. There's no other family members who live near me, however I do have a friend, Jade, who lives near. She is good with kids and does babysitting as a side hustle. I called her and explained the situation, even offering to pay her to look after Ava, but she was understanding and said she'd do it for free. I thanked her profusely and dropped Ava off. I texted my sister to say I'd left Ava with Jade and to collect her from her house. It's relevant to the story that neither sister nor Ava know Jade personally. My sister didn't respond immediately, but after about 2 hours she started spamming my phone. I turned my phone off as I was already out by that point anyway. They picked up Ava later that evening and she was perfectly happy. However, my sister and Bill are furious at me for dumping Ava with a stranger, even though they know Jade is a trusted friend of mine. They accused me of endangering my own niece. Many other family members have sided with them, and I've been getting angry texts all weekend. I really don't know what to think. I felt like I acted as best I could given the circumstances. Aita. NTA. Yes, your sister asked you 3 weeks in advance, but 5 days is plenty of warning that you wanted to change plans. The fact she didn't call you back or try to negotiate with you and just dropped your niece off and ran isn't funny or cute. She's the parent and her kid is her and her husband's responsibility, not yours. Welcome to parenthood. She seems to be confused on this point. You don't owe her free babysitting. At all. Her antics of drop and dash and then triangulating other family as fly island monkeys to guilt trip you are childish, selfish, and disrespectful. So, for the foreseeable future, no matter what, when she asks you to sit, tell her no. Make her reach out to other mommy friends, get into a babysitter coop, or gasp. Her husband's family or friends can step up. Only offer to take our nice when you want to see her at your convenience or be available as a sitter in a true emergency, like a hospital or funeral home is involved. But other than that, she needs boundaries and consequences for her shit. Give them to her. NTA. Please text back, I did you a favor not calling the police when you dropped off your child, knowing I was about to leave the house. Next time, I'll just call the police so your child won't be traumatized by being babysat by one of my friends. As for your family, I would send a group text, I had plans on X night. My sister showed up with her baby, I said I couldn't watch her, and my sister drove off. Then shut off her phone. What my sister did was reckless. Her child isn't luggage, she's a person. If anyone thinks it's okay for her to drop her child off when you tell her you can't watch her and then shut her phone off, I'll let her know. That way you guys can always make sure your plans are free, knowing she can come by at any time, and then shut off her phone so you can't reach her in an emergency. NTA. Your sister told you she told me she was leaving Ava with me as originally planned. I said again I was busy, she replied that family is more important than my silly college friends, and I should step up to my responsibility as an aunt. Her responsibility is to be a parent and adjust her plans accordingly. This is on her. And I would refuse any more babysitting until she realizes she must respect you as an adult, not as a free babysitter. As far as the other family members who have now joined in to voice their petty opinions, just reply and let them know they appear to be extremely vested in this childcare so they can start babysitting. Your sister is at fault for involving other family members, shame on her for that. Aita for turning off my alarm in the morning resulting in my roommate missing her first class? So this just happened about an hour ago, and I need some confirmation that I'm not in the wrong here. I'm on mobile, so apologies in advance for formatting. My 21F roommate, 20F, are living in the same college dorm together. While we don't share a room, our rooms are adjacent to one another, and the walls are pretty thin, so we can hear each other pretty easily through them. My first class on Mondays is normally at 9 in the morning, but today I woke up a little bit before my alarm, around 7:45, and checked my email to see that it was cancelled because the professor is sick. Since my next class wouldn't be until 12 o'clock, I turned off my alarm and fell back asleep. Around 9:30 I woke up to the sound of my roommate rushing around and being pretty noisy. I knew she had a class at 9 o'clock too, so I was curious as to why she was still here. I got up out of bed and walked out into the hallway between our rooms and saw that she was frantically running around trying to get ready. As soon as she saw me, she got this scowl on her face and angrily asked me why my alarm didn't go off. I told her my first class got cancelled and that I wanted to sleep in a little. Then she tells me that, thanks to me, she's super late for her first class. Apparently she relies on my alarm going off in the morning rather than setting one herself. I had no idea that was the case and still don't really understand why she doesn't have her own alarm set. I tried to apologize, but she was too preoccupied and seemed to be ignoring me. After a few minutes she was out the door and, since then I've been sitting in bed wondering if I'm really the asshole here or if she's only got herself to blame. I tried to apologize. No. At 20, she can set her own alarm. There was no communication from her, she relied on your alarm. She wanted to blame someone other than herself for something 100% her fault. NTA. This op. Do not apologize. NTA. Alarms come free on mobile phones, and she's a grown-ass woman who can set her own grown-ass alarms. Aita. To yourself for apologizing when you did nothing wrong. It just gives people the message that you're an easy target to abuse. The fact that you're even debating if you're an asshole shows you need to work on your assertiveness and esteem. None of this is a criticism, I know this from my own negative experiences. Your roommate is ridiculous and entitled. NTA. NTA. You're not responsible for making sure she gets up in the morning. Hope she comes back in a better mood and apologizes.